We hear it all the time, fish a little deeper. Well, easy to say, not always easy to do. And part of that is because we rarely actually get to see footage, real footage, of what a difference it can make. Well, today you will. My hope is that after watching this underwater footage, you have more confidence exploring different parts of the water column. And often, it is a small adjustment, not big ones, that can make an immediate impact. Well, I was on Potato Lake near Park Rapids, Minnesota. Look at this weather. I don't know if you can have a more bluebird sky than I had on this day. The water temp was in the low 70s. Now, the first thing I did was check the top 5 feet of the water column. There were lots of rocks, some weeds mixed in, and things looked perfect. I found some little largemouth and even some young smallmouth and plenty of rock bass. But I didn't see many baitfish and sure didn't find any bigger bass. Now, I could have worked the shallows and picked up some of these little guys, I'm sure. And as I've mentioned before, whenever I'm fishing new water, which this was, I try to find areas that drop off into deeper water quicker. This way I can search some different depths easily without moving a long distance laterally. Then when I find life, I can apply it to other parts of the lake. Well, my next step was to check in that 10-foot depth range, about 5 feet deeper than what I had already investigated. Well, immediately, I started to see all kinds of small prey species. There were little largemouth mixed in with sunfish and all kinds of young yellow perch. I felt confident. Well, a minute or two later, I found all kinds of smallmouth and a much better quality of fish. They were all over the place in this approximate 10-foot range, or that next part of the water column. And as you can see, instead of in the really rocky areas that were a little shallower, they were moving in and out of the more prevalent vegetation, and they were on the prowl. If you fish smallmouth often, you know that when there is prey around, they are likely nearby and on the move. Not always, but definitely a lot of the time. The part that was most exciting is that I was finding some nice sized groups of fish. Needless to say, I could only take so much filming and had to soon put the camera away and pick up the rod. With these flat, calm conditions, I was most successful fishing a drop shot with a perch-colored baby Z2. I believe the color was the Juice, and I had a really long leader on here. I love long leaders when fishing through grass. Now, I wish someone else was with me because almost every time I caught a fish, a bunch more smallmouth were in those aggressive wolf pack scenarios over the side of the boat, getting worked up into a frenzy. If that's happened to you, you understand how fun that is. I say it all the time, it's easy to get stuck in a rut when bass fishing, and part of that rut is the depth zone we most often target. 5 feet can make all the difference. And hey, if you love bass behavior, go ahead and check out my bass behavior bundle. I've got 40 videos in there, link is below. And if you'd like to watch a video that I love fishing through vegetation, and it's called the bungee jumper rig, a different version or alternative way to rig something like a Neko, go ahead and check this one out right here. And make sure that you go out and encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.